Yep.
We all know a big part of creating a prosperous city, not just a thriving downtown area, is addressing the racial issues Detroit faces. It's on the agenda at Mackinac this week in light of the recent protests in Baltimore.
But some people are questioning if there can be real solutions to those particular issues in Detroit when that conversation is being held hundreds of miles away up there at Mackinac.
That's right. In a guest column for Bridge magazine, Aaron Foley wrote, quote, "It can't be said enough that trying to discuss complex issues of race and equity must be done at home instead of somewhere disconnected from it all."
He goes on to say you can't be too comfortable when having these conversations. It's too late to move the discussion back to Detroit, but the Detroit Regional Chamber should in the future remember the name of its organization. I assume, Aaron Foley, you're with us now that you're speaking of the Detroit region. They should be having this conversation here.
Yes, definitely in the city if they can, but at least, somewhere closer than Mackinac Island.
Some may say, hey, look, better someplace than no place, right?
Right, you could say that, but at the same time, Mackinac Island, it has the Grand Hotel, and a lot of these policy issues are being discussed. I wrote that, public transit is a huge issue here in Detroit, the lack thereof, yet on Mackinac Island, there's no vehicles at all. So, how can you really identify with what Detroiters go through when you're so far away and so disconnected?
Well, Aaron, I've covered the Mackinac Policy Conference for the last 14 years, and one thing they're very fond of saying up there is that once you get all trapped together on that island, there's really no place for people to run and hide, so they're actually forced, and I've seen this in action, people sitting down and actually discussing this. So maybe something can come out of it. I get what you're saying, that it's not in Detroit, but can something come out of this anyway?
I'm not doubting that something can come out of it, but I think some of the particular conversations about race that were sort of added at the very last minute, it felt like more of a knee-jerk reaction. It felt kind of pandering to certain communities and whatnot. But why still, the registration process for the policy conference, you have to pay thousands of dollars to get there and whatnot. A lot of the people that will be affected by these conversations can't afford $3,000 or how much it costs to get to Mackinac. So why not bring that conversation here back home and have people here in Detroit involved in that dialogue?
Aaron, are you hopeful that will happen?
I'm hopeful it'll happen. I mean, I know the Regional Chamber has events all year round. They could even start anew. I'm not saying the entire policy conference has to be moved from Mackinac to Detroit. But if they want to have some more fruitful conversations about what's going on in the neighborhoods, what's going on in the schools, what's going on with unemployment, drugs, crime, all these things that are going on in Detroit, have it here so you can see it firsthand, and not, in the hotel where some of the only minorities you see are the people that are working in the hotel.
Now, Aaron, the Chamber is very fond of saying they've got this to-do list that they're going to bring back and get these things done over the next year. So can we perhaps put a challenge out to these people in Mackinac right now saying on the to-do list, let's bring this conversation, this part of that conversation about Detroit, especially the racial element, can we bring it back to Detroit?
I think the word conversation is just so, there's kind of a leisure aspect to it. It's just talking and talking, and it makes people feel comfortable. We can just sit down at the table and talk and dialogue and whatnot. Now it's time for action, and I think part of the action is actually seeing what's going on here.
Aaron Foley, we thank you very much for your time and your input and opinion in all this today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.